Hey guys, it's Mark and Amy from 915 Sports.
Hi, guys.
And today we're going to go over nutrition. I think nutrition obviously is such a huge part of your fitness journey. So we wanted to put together a video that you can always refer back to after we've done so many live nutrition seminars or workshops that a lot of times people come up to us and ask us, hey, what about this? Or 2 weeks later, what did you say about this? And so we figured a video that you can always refer back to would be perfect. So here we go.
All right, so the goal of our presentation today is to help those of you whose goal is maybe to lose some weight, lose some body fat, or lose some inches. So what we're going to be teaching you today is what foods you should be eating and what you shouldn't be eating, when you should be having your meals, and why you should have certain foods instead of others. And then hopefully by the end of the next 6 weeks of following through with this nutrition plan, you guys will not only have met your goals, but you'll feel better and you'll understand how to live a healthier lifestyle.
All right. And so we've been doing this for a long time, for about 7 years now, and we've had countless success stories. And the success stories that really just get a lot of attention and really people wonder why is when you see a before and after picture of somebody who's lost a lot of weight or looks really good. And for that matter, a lot of it really has to do with your diet. I mean, if you're spending an hour a day in the gym, you come into one class throughout the day, that's fantastic, but that's only 4% of your day. The rest of the 96% is decisions that you're making. We help you make decisions for 4% of your day. Now it's up to you to make decisions for that extra 23 hours of your day. Now, working out will definitely be a big catalyst to your metabolism, but the biggest thing and the thing you have to really look good is your nutrition down pat.
All right, so what exactly does a healthy, well-rounded diet look like? So your healthy diet should consist of three macronutrients, your three main nutrients, and those are going to be protein, carbohydrates, and healthy fats. So protein should make up 30% of your diet. That's going to be like your meats, your chicken, on the picture, eggs, everything else. And your protein in a single meal should be about the size and thickness of the palm of your hand. So that would be about a serving of protein. Protein is a part of all your body's cells, and it's a building block in growth, which for us is a big concern because it helps us with the maintenance and repair of our muscles. All right? So if you look at the plate on the right, you have the chicken, and then you have the avocado. So the avocado is going to be your healthy fat. Healthy fats are used to build nerve tissue, regulate hormones, they help with your brain function, helps with heart health, also helps your body with absorbing all of your vitamins. So after your protein and your healthy fats, the rest of your plate should be made up of healthy carbohydrates, ideally vegetables. And carbohydrates should make up about 55% of your total daily intake of food. So carbohydrates, when your body takes in carbohydrates, they are converted into sugars that your body uses for energy. So carbohydrates are our body's fuel.
Cool. So let's talk about the 30% of our meal that I really enjoy, the protein. So protein, there's a few different types of protein. Obviously, the majority of protein comes from something that I always tell people that's living at one point. So protein is what you're eating that at one point was a living organism, or not. I shouldn't even say organism, living thing. Like your meats, your chicken, turkeys, even eggs, salmon, fish, stuff like that. But there are three different types of proteins that you kind of want to put out or put your proteins into. So the one is the best proteins, and those are lean meats, turkey, eggs, salmon, and if you're doing ground beef, a 90-10 ratio for your ground beef. And in moderation, protein shakes, fatty red meat, pork, and then as the slide says, you want to limit the processed meats like bacon, deli meat, soy, and tofu. So not all proteins are created the same. If you're thinking and you're maybe used to doing a paleo diet, the paleo diet says, oh, add in the bacon, add in the sausage, the deli meat. But if you want, or if you're going for best results, you need to definitely spend most of your protein in the best category. So not all proteins are equal. Make sure you're choosing from the best list most often.
All right. So, like Mark said, for best results, we want to always be eating from the best category. So, when it comes to carbohydrates, the best options that we can choose are going to be vegetables. Ideally, our dark leafy greens. We have asparagus there, Brussels sprouts, bell peppers, all of your nutrient dense veggies. You can also do your lower sugar fruit, such as berries. So, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, those are going to all fall into the best category. In moderation, then you would throw in a little bit of the higher sugar fruits like apples, pears, peaches, and grapes, and your starchier vegetables like squash, carrots, and sweet potato. And then you'd also want to limit your highest sugar fruits, which are going to be tropical fruits, and yes, the ones that taste really good, like the bananas, oranges, and pineapples. So, really try to not have those too often. Now, this is where a couple of the rules come in. What we're going to be asking you to avoid are going to be all of your grains. And this is if your goal is to lose more than 5 pounds. If you are already at your goal weight or if you're trying to gain weight, the guidelines would be slightly different. But for us, we're concerned today about weight loss and primarily fat loss. So we're going to pull out some of the grains, or actually all of the grains, and that's going to be bread, pasta, rice, oatmeal, quinoa, and your cereals. So whether it's whole grain or whether it's white bread, we're going to be removing all of that, as well as your white potatoes, corn, beans. You obviously want to avoid junk food and table sugar.
Now we're on to the fats. So fats, contrary to a lot of people's belief, don't make you fat. Actually, fats are known to speed up your metabolism and counteract a lot of inflammation. So your best fats, and a lot of people ask us, well, what should we be eating when it goes to fat? And a lot of times you think of the bad fats when you're thinking about fat, like butter and margarine, stuff like that. Well, there is olive oil. So olive oil, add olive oil to cooking, coconut oil, like seafood also has a lot of great fats. Avocado is one of the best fats you can eat. The moderations, nuts and seeds. A lot of times people, to get their fat source, eat a lot of nuts and seeds, and I get it. It's really easy. They're really easy to carry around. But the problem is that they do have a lot of calories, and they're not the best source of fat that you can eat. So try to really keep your fats in that best category. The butters and the other dairy products, limit those fats as much as possible. Not necessarily taking them completely out of your diet, but limiting those as much as you can.
Okay, and we're also going to ask that you avoid dairy, regular butter and margarine, vegetable shortening, and then finally peanuts and peanut butter. So again, if you're really trying to lose more than those 5 pounds, then we want to be eating really nice clean sources of fat, and that's going to be using the other nuts.
Cool.
All right, so what are your biggest waistline enemies? The things that you really need to watch out for, red flags in your diet, and these are definitely not allowed. So that would first be sugar. We ask that you limit sugar in all forms, so that's both your table sugar, your honey, your agave, your artificial sweeteners, blue packets, pink packets, all of it. And also check your labels and look for ingredients that end in OSE or OS. So that would be sucralose, dextrose, and check how many grams of sugar that you're getting in foods that are packaged. You especially want to watch out for this when it comes to dried fruit. Okay. Now, When it comes to sugar, we're also going to be allowing you to have 1 packet of artificial sweetener per day. So use that wisely. Most people tend to use it in their coffee in the morning, but you can use it whenever you'd like. We're also going to have you do no sodas or other sugary drinks. So that would be fruit juices, energy drinks, anything that kind of falls into that category. All right. When it comes to alcohol, if you're really trying to get the best results, I recommend that you don't have any alcohol in your diet. Alcohol is just sugar with a different name, and your body treats it the same way as it treats sugar. So, if it's not burned off as energy, it's stored as fat. And most drinks have a lot of sugar. So, if you do have any alcohol, keep it to a max of 2 servings per week, and that should only be of tequila or wine. All right, you're also going to want to make sure to avoid white carbs, like we already mentioned, and high sodium foods. So anything with a lot of table salt, obviously your French fries, your chips, anything with a lot of extra salt. And foods that are high in saturated fats. So saturated fat is good for you in moderation, but we want to be on the lookout for fatty beef, cheese, fried foods, processed baked goods. So any kind of like muffin or a cake that comes in a package, those are especially bad for you. And then again, processed meats, which Mark already mentioned.
So yeah, don't worry, guys. When you hit your goal weight, let us know, and we'll make up for that alcohol deficiency. Just make sure and invite us. All right. Okay. So on to meal timing.
All right. So it helps if you guys think about your metabolism like a funnel. So in order for the funnel to keep running smoothly, you need to add to it a little bit at a time. If you pour a whole bunch in at once, the funnel gets stopped up and it stops moving and processing everything as quickly. So that's the same principle we want to apply to our meal timing. So in order to keep our metabolism firing, burning fuel quickly, 6 small meals throughout your day would be ideal. And it would be awesome if we could spread those meals out about 2 to 3 hours apart. But if that's not realistic, based on your job or anything else you have going on, you could also do 3 larger meals with 3 small snacks in between. You just want to try to avoid getting hungry. So make sure that you're maintaining a little bit of fuel in your metabolism at all times. So remember also that when you wake up in the morning, your body is coming out of 6 to 8 hours of not getting anything. So make sure that you eat breakfast or even a mini breakfast if you don't usually tend to eat a lot when you wake up within 30 minutes to 1 hour of waking up. And that's just to get your metabolism started and firing right from when you wake up. And then I'd also recommend that you have either a small meal of protein and carbs or a protein shake immediately post-workout. So bring it with you to the gym. A good little post-workout snack might be like some chicken and sweet potato, just something you can have really quick after you work out.
Cool. All right, water. Most people know this. Water is 60% of our body, so it is very, very important to keep your water consumption up. It helps control appetite. A lot of times people think they're hungry and they're actually thirsty. It also helps to flush out toxins and keep you away from dehydration, which can really kind of put a damper on your workouts and your progress. So the goal is to drink at least a half a gallon per day, if not more. You might feel, just FYI, as you start drinking more water, you might have to go to the restroom a little bit more often. That's normal at the beginning. Then your body starts to get used to that. And maybe you won't go as much. I mean, that's just something I know of. I know, always noticed. So make sure you guys are drinking your water, at least half a gallon per day.
All right, so this is just an example of what a good day following these principles might look like. So you can see that the protein is highlighted in red, carbs are green, and fats are purple. And one thing you'll notice is pretty much every meal has all 3 of those. So when this person wakes up, they have a quick shake with protein, carbs, and fats. About 2 hours later, they have a small breakfast. boiled eggs, grapefruit, a little bit of almonds. And then they have lunch of chicken, some veggies, and avocado. Then you'll see their workout. For this person, they may work out in the noon class. And then right after that, they have their post workout meal where you see the protein and carbs, like we talked about. So in this case, this person had tilapia with sweet potato and broccoli. And then later in the day, this person has a small late afternoon kind of snack, dinner, early dinner, and then a later dinner as well. And if you were still hungry before going to bed, you could also throw in another protein shake. But the point is, on this plan, you should never feel hungry. That's not the point. If you're hungry, eat. Just make sure you're trying to eat from those best categories as often as possible.
All right, so here's where we get into some real talk on potential. So many times throughout my years of doing this, we get a lot of questions, and one of those big questions is, or one of those big goals is, hey, I want to look like a certain person. I mean, I want to look like Jason Khalipa. I want to look like Camilla Blanc, or a Victoria's Secret model. This specific person, I want to look like Giselle. So I don't know why I know that name, but anyway, so you want to look like somebody specific, and a lot of people a lot of times get that idea of like, this is my goal body, which I think is great for motivation purposes, but we also got to remember and realize that we're all different. The problem is you're not that person. They may have had somebody who they wanted to look like, but as they got closer, they looked very different. So the goal here is you want to reach your full potential. You want to be the best you can possibly be, so that people maybe one day will be like, hey, I want to look like that person. And you could be one of those goals. It's just to have an exact body type goal is a little unrealistic. And a lot of that has to do with what we'll talk about here in a second. And a big part of that is genetics. So, but you can use these 5 blocks of potential to make your best you, really. So the first couple are nutrition and recovery.
Yeah, so nutrition is everything we talked about today. So if you want to reach your full potential all around, you need to make sure that you're eating your proper portion sizes, eating quality foods from those best categories, and eating at the right time. So make sure you're eating enough of the good stuff. Then you're also going to want to make sure that you're getting enough recovery. So the biggest factor where most people lose out when it comes to recovery is sleep. Sleep is really important because during sleep our body experiences hormonal releases, metabolic maintenance, and muscle repair, which are all really important for muscle growth as well, which I know for a lot of you, that's another goal. So if you're lucky enough to get 8 hours of sleep, that would be optimal. But if you can, try to keep it within the 6 to 8 hour range at least, so that way you can recover for your next workout.
All right, so and the other 2 parts of it would be training and supplementation. Training, make sure you're training to your specific goals. If you want to focus more on weight loss, maybe you should add in some little extra cardio at the end or to your training regimen. Strength or size, we should do maybe some more strength homework. And if you guys do have questions like that, we're always here at the gym and have those types of programs to be able to facilitate that. So make sure your training program is in line with your goals. And sometimes that's a little extra work, sometimes that's not. So we're always here to answer those questions. And we get a lot of questions on supplements as well. There's 4 really solid foundational supplements that you should probably be taking, and those are multivitamins, fish oil, a protein supplement, and BCAAs. BCAA stands for branched chain amino acids. They're the building blocks of protein and really help with recovery. The protein part of it, you want to get a good solid whey protein, and the fish oil, it's really inexpensive. It really helps with metabolism. It helps with inflammation, helps with joint support. Then the multivitamins is there just to kind of supplement, making sure that you are eating. But really, food should be the majority of those macronutrients, like your fats and fish oil, your protein. That's where you should get most of it. Supplements are not a magic pill. You can't take supplements as much as their advertisements want to portray that. You can't take a supplement and get there without a lot of nutrition. And a lot of times, if you're taking supplements with bad nutrition, it's just not going to work. It's going to be very, very so small on getting you there, you won't even notice. And we also get questions on fat burners. Now, fat burners, it's really just shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be an option if your diet is not clean. So we don't recommend fat burners, especially if you're working out and you're eating correctly. Fat burners should be on the bottom list of supplements you're about to take. So make sure that there's no cheat pill or no magic pill. They're not going to do anything significant to your diet, especially if you're not eating well. And then we talked about genetics. I mean, everybody has an individual blueprint, and so many people. Just keep in mind that you cannot look like an individual person. You can try to get to the best you can be, and wherever that is, I should be completely happy with. And remember, a lot of these times, pictures are people of completely different makeup. Genetics kind of gives you the idea what your body is, and people who look at different people, they could be completely different. I mean, if you're looking at a elite athlete, that elite athlete has been training since they were very small. Maybe that's not where you're at. They also their body is made to handle different types of work. They may be doing, working out 4 hours a day because that's their job. That's not something you can do. So remember to think about those things when you're talking about genetics and who you're trying to look like. Genetics will make up a big part of what you do look like. So we're just trying to make sure that you're the best you can be, really. So that is your full potential. Those are the 4 or 5 building blocks of your potential. And as long as those are good, you're on the right track.
All right, so these are our last tips for you guys as you head out there and get ready to start following this nutrition plan. And the first one is to mentally prepare yourself. So the people that we've seen who get the best results out of following nutrition plans are the ones who make a decision to change. They're ready, they've reached that point, they know that this is a lifestyle change. So if you're already thinking, oh, well, I'll do really good and I'll just have a cheat meal on Saturday and then I'll get back on it on Monday, no, you need to switch your mind frame and find your focus. So a couple ways that you can do that are first to clean out your pantry. So do your best to get rid of everything that you have in your pantry or your fridge that you know will tempt you. If there are foods that maybe your kids or your significant others really don't want you to get rid of, then find a way to hide them from yourself. So whether you put them in a box or keep them in a separate cabinet or somewhere that you don't look into all the time, that way that you're not as tempted to go ahead and just grab a bite here or there. I also recommend that you prep your meals ahead of time and try to have snacks on hand. We make bad decisions when we're hungry. So as much as you can, try to be ahead of your body and make sure that you're eating on that nice consistent schedule, that you're never reaching the point where you're just starving and you want whatever's there or the fastest thing that you can get. Because if that's the case, you're going to go for something that's quick and easy and that probably doesn't fall into any of those best categories. Okay. I also recommend that you don't allow yourself to cheat. Give yourself a full 6 weeks of commitment to really let your body adapt and get consistent and start working through giving you those results. And finally, I'd say don't weigh yourself. A lot of times people get so obsessed with weighing themselves, and if after 1 or 2 weeks they're not losing as much weight as they want to or as much weight as they think they should, that they just give up. Where actually they probably would have seen amazing results if they would have just stuck with it. So again, let the process work and give your body the chance to adjust, and then that fat is going to start to come off.
Yeah, and remember, everything is an experiment. Your body is an experiment. So not everything exactly. That's why we don't have a completely cookie cutter nutrition plan. That we want to give you guys the tools to be able to go out there and make the right choices. After 6 weeks, like Amy said, once you're focused, you're zero cheats. You've kind of reset your body. You've kind of detoxed your way out of it. You haven't relapsed and going back into your old ways. And that's kind of the danger of throwing in cheat meals early, is that you have 6 weeks and then you can start maybe adding different things into there, and see how it works, because you've had a good 6 weeks of clean eating. And now if you add in a little dairy here and there, see what it does to your body, see how it makes you feel. And you give yourself a cheat meal every once in a while. That's okay, because we all have to live life. I mean, we have parties that we go to, or wherever you go to Abuelita's house, and she has all those tamales and you can't say no. I mean, after 6 weeks, it's okay. But really, this should be a lifestyle, and we hope you guys have learned a bunch from our video and go out there and kill it. We'll see you guys at the gym.